All right, what is up? Welcome back. Back again with yet another video. It's been a while. Been hella busy. As I say, I work a lot. Trying to find the time to make videos. Took time off of one of my jobs, so I've been able to do some other things that I wanted to do. Um, but anyway, this is gonna be a video on the pros and cons on the Dualtron Storm. All right. I've done a lot of videos about many topics, but I never really did like a pros and cons. But all throughout the journey, you know, I've said what's bad and what's good about it, but I figure I'd make a video encompassing, you know, what I like most about it and what I don't like about it. So that way it can just be in one video. Scooters are preferences, so I'm going to say my pros and cons. Everybody's pros and cons will be different, you know? But this is just going to be my take. All right, so let's see. Okay, I'm going to start off with the cons. Okay, so first con would have to be suspension. Okay, so now on the suspension, it's easy to replace, it's easy to install. It'll last you like forever. But compared to other scooters like a Wolf Warrior or anything with like really good suspension, there's no comparison. Even on my turbo wheel, the suspension was way better. Now, don't get me wrong, the suspension isn't horrible, but it just could be. I feel it just could be better. And if you put two greens in to make it extremely soft, it just really waters down the scooter. It makes you seep down. Your speed gets much weaker. There's other scooters where you can put air suspension in where it won't immediately like drop you down. You can adjust it so that you know you keep a good amount of that stability. Because more with two greens is gonna make you wobble more because it's not stiff. So I'd have to say the suspension, and this will go for almost all the Dualtrons. Is not really the greatest, but it's not terrible. But compared to other scooters, it's not really the best. It's doable, but it's probably one of the cons on here. I'd have to say the suspension. Okay, the next thing I'd have to say would probably be the handlebars, because the handlebars are very, very small. If you look at mine, they are not the stock handlebars. As you can see, these are handlebars that I bought. They're just pure, bar handlebars with no folds in them. The original ones have it to where you can fold it down. I guess they're trying to do a convenient thing, but in all honesty, you really don't need it because as long as this folds down, you just fold the whole thing down. You don't need to fold the arms down. And when you're riding these kind of high-powered scooters, you want to have handlebars that are very, very sturdy, and also the stock handlebars are very small. Like they don't go out as wide as this. On this type of a beast of a scooter, you need really long handlebars. Okay, those are way too narrow, way too small, way too tiny. Okay, so and this is like for most of the Dualtrons that you get stock, you get these itty bitty tiny ass fucking handlebars on a super powerful scooter. So yeah, I'd have to say handlebars is another thing. All right. Now, the next thing I don't like about Dualtrons, because they're fairly all similar, is the height of the stem. Okay, the stem is way too short. Just like how I just said with the handlebars, how they're really small. Okay, so you couple that with a tiny ass fucking stem. Okay, even if you're not the tallest person, it still feels like riding a child's toy when you have, you know, just straight out of the box. Like you feel like you have no control. You feel like it's so much power on such a tiny ass fucking stem that you could barely, control it. You feel like you're riding a fast child's toy or something. As you guys know, I'm not a fan of that. And you guys know I expanded the shit out of my stem. You see, I got all this. I've even gotten this little piece to go all the way to the top. Like I tightened it up to the top, and there's still even this, and this is the highest I can tilt this way. I could tilt this forward this way, but I'm bending back up to try to get the highest. But as you guys know, I maxed the fuck out of my wires. So there's like no wobbling or nothing because the wires are really, really tight because I had to get that max height. Okay, like I don't even understand how anybody can ride a Dualtron stock. Okay, that's probably one of the things I hate the most on Dualtrons. Never didn't have that issue with my turbo wheel. Oh, and my one of my other old scooters, my damn, what do you call that thing? God, I forgot. It's been so long. The Mantis. I know it's been that's the Mantis Pro. Remember that? I'm pretty sure there's. I think there's like the Mosquito or something. The scooters evolve, they change, they get new names. But anybody that's in a scooter game knows about the Mantis Pro. Oh my God, the stem on that one is fucking great. That thing is tall. I remember riding on that thing. Man, that thing come up like close to my chest. Oh, it feels so comfortable. I can't even get this that high. Yeah, not even close, So that was also an issue on my WePet SS. That was really low. Before it messed up and I never got it back, I was in the process of figuring how to extend the stem as high as possible. So the best and the highest stem, even over my turbo wheel fading, was have to be the Mantis Pro. Oh man, that was the best stem I had, as in height wise. Because when you're tall, or even if you're not that tall, it's just not comfortable. You need to get handlebars and you need to get the highest stem riser in order to really enjoy this scooter. So the really tiny fucking stems on this thing are terrible. That's another con. Okay, now another con I want to talk about is the creaking stem and just creaking everywhere. There's with Dualtrons, there's just so many spots where you can get creaking, and if you own one, you figure out ways to make it stop either by grease, either by lithium oil, or just some form of oil inside the areas that you think were leaking, but are creaking. But in my experience, even when I did that, I noticed that with oils, I tried, somebody commented, yeah, you need to get the grease tape or something that's more hardcore. But I had bought some hardcore grease and I put it all in there and it just doesn't last as long. Like it starts creaking. I did another method as people seen with thread tape, and that's what I actually have in there. I put more in there. I'm just testing out different things. I don't, if I do certain things, it's just me wanting to do it. You don't have to do it. Okay, I'm just sharing it with you. But anyway, there's quite a bit of places where you can have the creaking. It could be here, it could be here, which is one of the main places. Right here is where the creaking will come. It could be in here, and then inside of this, um, under, like, over, what I mean is over the clamp. When I take this clamp off, you'll see, the stem or whatever, that too. But not so much on this clamp, but after a while, even if you oil it up or put it in, it does come back. It's just crazy. So now one thing about this one is that I noticed that a lot of this, because you got the bolts here too. So with all that back and forth movement, after a while, it's scraping up against. I think that's where a lot of the noise comes from when it comes to there. Now on the Storm Limited, when I showed you my method that I did with my thread tape, which is just something I want to do, I threaded around the pipe inside here, threaded it all around, and then I was able to put the stem back in and lock it. But with the Storm, there's no room. I don't know why. I guess this one's just really, really made to tight fit. If I put the tape on it, it's just gonna push it out as I put it in. Same thing with the brass method, which I tried and you guys saw doesn't work well. Yeah, so I don't know. The thread tape seems to be, I've been riding it for like a week now. I don't really hear any noise, so it seems to be working, but I don't know how safe it is. I don't know what it's going to do. So, it's up to you if you want to try it. I'll let you know how it is. I'll take the fall for it. We'll see what it is. But, I'm original and I do my own shit. So let's see. Now, on the original clamp, back to what I was saying about the clamp. On the original clamp, when it's on here and it's new, you know, it has two clamps that go this way and that. You snap them in, and then there's a screw on it. You know how it works. It's cool for a while in the beginning, but after a while, it'll start to wear out. It'll start to creak. It'll start to make a lot of noise. It'll start to move. It won't lock as tight. If you're a heavy user like me, I guess. For some of you who just want to buy these for fun and you don't use them every day, then I mean, it may not, you know, wear out as fast, but the thing is it will wear out and it will, you know, wobble a lot. Okay, now there's multiple versions of clamps that they've came out with other than this. You guys saw I had the Russia clamp. I got this now. I believe Eric's makes Dualtron parts. It's a Korean company. I'm pretty sure he's made more versions. I would highly recommend just getting some kind of a clamp like this and just bringing an Allen key and taking it off if you need to fold it down. But I never really need to fold my Dualtron, and the only way you're gonna get the most comfortable ride is riding with a clamp, with something like this with bolts. Otherwise, it's just not gonna be comfortable. It's gonna be rocking. It's gonna be creaking, and stuff like that. So as you can see a little bit of the thread tape hanging out right here because I threaded inside here. There's a part of the pole that's in there. You can kind of see that white stuff. You can see the thread. I threaded it around the pole, and then right here is where the castle nut is. I put it inside there, and kind of there's like an indentation inside this when you open it up, and I just put like two pieces along the walls and that and put it on there. It seems to be holding, and I think it's starting to make a little bit of noise, but the noise is like non-existent. I want to see how long it will last. The goal is to make a method that lasts longer than the grease or whatever it is. It just doesn't last that long. If this lasts long, then okay, once it starts doing it again, take it out, refresh it with some more tape. Okay, but I'll let you know how that pans out. But yeah, I would say the clamping system, I mean, this is the Dualtron Storm. It's going to be the same on the Storm Limited. It's going to be the same on the Ultra 2. Most of the Dualtrons are similar. I'm not sure about the Dualtron X. I'm blanking out right now. I forgot how that one locks, but it may be similar. But just keep in mind, most of them have clamps like this, and I would recommend getting another one. And the clamping system on other scooters are definitely better, like your V sets, your Wolf Warriors, you know, your Ryons, which have amazing clamps, and the Weep Head. Oh my God, that clamp to me personally is phenomenal. And when I owned it and I had it, you know, because all it is just a metal piece. You know, it's kind of like a circular metal rod, and all you do is stick the pin in, and it locks in. That's it. You know, you're not gonna fucking have to worry about a metal pin, a big thick ass metal pin bending or anything. No, it's just a metal pin. You stick it in, it locks. Easy. And I like the Ryon's locking mechanism too. So Dualtron's clamp, not the best, in my opinion. So that's another con. Okay, now another con that I have with the Dualtron Storm specifically, not the Dualtron Limited. I will do the same thing when I get my Dualtron Limited, and I will tell you the reason why I got the Limited. I guess I'll do a dedicated video on why I got the Storm as well, but this is going to be pros and cons. Now this pertains to this, not the Storm Limited. Now, the con that I have with this is it's right in front of your face right now. You can kind of see it, but I'm gonna tell you what it is the cleaning. Okay, this fucking thing cannot be cleaned. I don't give a damn what grip tape cleaner or whatever the fuck you have. This is my original battery. Actually, as you can see how beat up it is. And yes, as you've seen in my review, my 1 year review of this scooter has held up for an entire year. So that means this battery is still going strong, and it's still powerful, and it still charges to its full potential. But anyway, as you can see, look at this, and then even look at this part right here that started to tear off and whatnot. Yeah, you're just not gonna get these clean. Now, this part is like the Storm Limited. Okay, all this is just rubber. You can just wipe that down. The Limited is very easy to clean, along with the Thunder 2. I think they learned from that from doing this one. The Thunder 2 is just a whole rubber. You just wipe it down. Um, you know, yeah, I think the Ultra 2, with the Ultra 2, that's another benefit of like the Ultra 2 or the Thunder 2. You can change the plate, put lights and custom. That's not going to happen on this. And this is something I knew. But I can do that on my Limited though, because it has a battery. This is specific because the battery is removable. So I understood that. I got this for different reasons. But yeah, and even look at the footplate. Footplate too. Look, it's fucked up. Now, I showed you guys in a video what you have to do to make this look better. You can go watch it. And, the only solution really, if you want it to look like aesthetically pleasing, if you want to say. So, yeah, cleaning, particularly this part and this part, because everything else could be wiped down. This could be repainted with the scratches. It's really just these two, and that's kind of like the biggest, exposed parts of the scooter. There's no way to really hide that, and it looks really ugly. But I don't really give a shit. I know I showed you guys what you have to do. So yeah, I have to say cleaning. That's another con. All right, now another con I have is one I really fucking hate. One I really hate about this damn scooter is the controller connecting plate. The plate thing, the mechanism thing there that connects to the arms and where the controller rests on. This thing is a fucking pain in the ass, and it's annoying as shit. Actually, let me show you it. Let me move a little closer and turn a light on. All right, so I want to give you guys a good close up on this thing, and I want to tell you uh, why I hate this thing. Okay, now this thing right here. This is the thing. All this right here. This is a part of it. This is what holds the controller on, and the sides right here connect to the arms. Okay, now the thing that's annoying about this, and especially for me because I've gotten so many fucking flat tires, I've had almost 30 to 35 flat tires in my whole time having this, and it's annoying. So I've changed them over and over and over and over again. Now, when you're putting this on yourself, this thing is fucking irritating to line up, especially if you didn't put the arms on right. There's arrow that indicate in the back. Once you get it, leave it, depend on where you want it. I like to have mine up as high as possible so that this lays flat, because that raises the scooter, and I noticed that makes it run a lot better. But anyway, when you're putting this thing on and you're trying to line it up, this wire here has to be in a specific spot, and so does this wire. Okay, now in the beginning days when I would put it on, I just get lucky and put it in. This thing has to be in between like a bolt. There's like a bolt right here that's holding this. Actually, right through this hole right here. You see this hole? You stick something in here, that's a bolt. This is the motor wire. It's in between that bolt. That bolt is on the other side right there, and this goes on there. This wire has to be behind that bolt, or else it's not going to fit in right. Okay, and then the brake wire has to run alongside on the opposite side of that bolt that I'm telling you. So the motor wire is on this side of the bolt, and then the brake wire is on the other side of the bolt, and it kind of fits in. It's not off, so you got to try to envision in your head what I'm telling you. It's hard to describe, but both of these wires have to be on opposite sides. This one and this one, just around that bolt. Just picture that like that. Now, when you're putting it on and your arms aren't perfect and all this or whatever, and it's just not working and you're forcing it, what's going to happen is when you put this on, this will explain this right here. When you put this on and it's not aligned properly and you force it in, remember, I forgot which video I told you guys, I just got frustrated. I couldn't get it straight. So I was just like, oh my God, I just put the bolts in, you know what I mean, forced them in. They weren't really lined correctly, but that puts a lot of pressure on the bolts. And eventually, you know, after riding and all that, they'll start to wear out. So both of the bolts are sitting in here right here. This is some dirty ass fucking double-sided adhesive tape that I'm using to hold the bolts in because they're so wore in and stripped that they will just come out. And I try to keep the bolts in at least because if the bolts are just in, this won't move around. You know, it won't bounce up and down and move around because the bolts are there. It's holding it in. But as far as the screw power, this one is actually gone. There's only one bolt there. They're all stripped. And as I said, this comes from putting this on and not having it perfectly aligned. It just, with the bouncing and all that, it's gonna strip the screws. And then once it's stripped, see, now I need to get a whole new arm. Okay, the other side is the same way. All right, but now, you know, after so long, I know how to position them. I know where the wires need to be. Anything that you own for a long time and you mess around with and you learn, you're gonna learn how to work with it and you're gonna understand what you need to do. So when I get a new one of these and I get new arms, I know how to line it up. I know to screw these in first. Oh yeah, that's a tip for you. Screw this, and this side too. Look at this. It has nothing. You know, it's just falling out. Like it's done. And this is all from my doing, you know, from frustration. Because you guys know I hate fucking flat tires. And I just got so frustrated. I just forced them in. I was fucking tired of it. And I didn't, you know, put the position, but it's all on me. So eventually I'll get a new one. But right now I'm just like, whatever. The other one fell out too, so I'm going to have to put something on here. I'm probably going to put like a, what is it? Zip tie on it or whatever. So, you know, I'm giving you the heads up, man. When you put this on, make sure it's lined up. And make sure all the wires, I can't really tell you, you're going to have to learn for yourself. Make sure the wires are in the right position. Make sure this wire's in the right position and everything. And the way that you'll know is when you put this top on, this right here, every screw, you will see through it. Make sure everything is visible through these screws, okay? It has to be perfect and line up. Then you're good, okay? But, you know, just my personal opinion, put these in. It's very complicated. See how many fucking bolts is? Before you do this one, and there's another one like this on the other side, screw this one in just a little bit. And it'll be flimsy, you know, it'll be hanging on there a little bit. Okay? And then tighten these fully and then tighten this. Okay? And then, you know, make sure it's straight, you know. So basically just make sure that that is straight when you're doing that. Don't put it on without doing that. That's my bad. I get very frustrated. I mean, changing the tire with this, it's just fucking annoying. Okay? Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I can't think of anything else about this. But yeah, that's it. Okay, so now let's get into the pros. Okay, so now the pros for this scooter, um, let's see, one of my favorite. Okay, so one of the pros I like are the motors. Okay, I love the motors for Dualtrons. Now, particularly for the Dualtron Storm because the motors are detachable. Okay, so if ever you needed to change the motor, you don't need to go in here. You don't need to unhook anything here. All you do is, you know, take the wheel off. The wheels are bolted on, as you can see. You see the bolts right there. Pull those bolts out. Take the wheel off. Pull back the waterproof flap. Screw two screws out. Pull out the motor wire. You're done. The whole motor will go in your hand. There's pretty much no scooter as of what I know of, unless if you get a custom, you cut the wire and put two custom connecting ports, and that would have to be a very good quality. And I mean very good fucking quality in order for it to work well, because you're going to be pulling and it can just be easily pulled out. The bigger the wire, you know, when a wire is this thick, you need something really reliable. It's not like a little tiny piece of shit. It needs to be a good quality. But with this, you don't have to worry about that, because when you open it up, that's it. You know, you just unscrew it, take it out, put the motor in your hand. And the cool thing also about this is that you really don't even need to take the motor off to change the tire, you know, because the tires just come right off. You know, but in the event that you need to change the motor, you need to do something. For most scooters, there's all these wires in the controller and all that. You got to dig in, you got to pull it out. Like my turbo wheel, the video I did on my turbo wheel, where I had to unhook the motor from the inside. Like I couldn't just unscrew it and take it off. A lot of those scooters are made like that. And I was like, dude, why would you do that, bro? And believe me, you don't understand how annoying that is until you own, you know, electric scooters, you know. You really don't understand how much of a hassle it is until you've ridden them for a long time like me and ridden a lot of scooters. You'd be like, damn, I can really appreciate this. You know, throughout my time of riding this, I realized that, you know, just ease of use, you know, and maintenance and all this stuff is very important. You got to pay attention to that too, because these aren't like cars. You can't just take this anywhere and get it fixed. You're going to have to do it yourself. So, yeah, con would definitely have to be a motor. Another thing about the motors I like is that they're very, very, very well waterproofed. I got caught in the rain with them, as I told you guys, nothing. They also have waterproof flaps inside that prevents the water from getting inside. So, yeah, the waterproofing, the good waterproofing, and the ability to just remove the motor wire and hold it in your hand. I love the motors. That's one of the pros. Okay, another pro I'd have to say I like about this would be the size. Okay, it's pretty compact. That it's a compact scooter that packs a lot of power. You know, now see, here's the thing. The point of these, to me, I guess it's opinion, and to other people who agree, the point of these POVs, the point of these scooters is to have something that's really small but really powerful. Okay, you know, if when you start getting into like really huge scooters and stuff like the new Weeped, you guys know I love Weeped, but the new thing that they're doing with the Dark Knight, it's just too much. The Dark Knight is just too big. It's too bulky. You know, some of them look like motorcycles now, and it's like, dude, you just took the whole thrill out of having a small POV, a small scooter that is powerful and looks, you know, nice design, nice sleek or whatever. You know, the compactness of it is, you know, what makes it stand out. That's what makes the motorcycle riders go, what the hell, are you going that fast on that little tiny ass thing? Or everybody looking at you like, wow, what is that, what is that? I mean, you make it big, then it's just gonna attract a lot of attention. Like, dude, why are you riding that on the sidewalk? Or, oh yeah, it's just another motorcycle. You know, I don't know. I like things that are different. You know, and also, you know, with more size, you know, it becomes more weight. You know what I mean? And I know a lot of you guys are gonna think that this is heavy and that this is big. This is not compared to most of the other scooters. You know, like a Weeped or anything like that. If you want like one of the lightest scooters that packs the most power, you can get a Ryan, dude. Like, look at how small a Ryan is. Look at how small it is and how sleek and nice it is. And that's another reason why it's so fast, because it's so light and it's all carbon fiber. And you know, it's just a beautiful scooter. It's just a pain in the ass to get. It takes too long and nobody wants to deal with that, but it's an amazing scooter and it's definitely on my fucking list. It's even way more small and way more compact than this, you know, and it packs that super speed. That's what I'm talking about. I don't want a big bulky ass scooter. So for me, for this one, the size, it's like perfect. You know what I mean? It's not too big, it's not too small. It's like right there in the middle. So size, definitely a pro. Okay, another thing I'd have to say is a pro would be the LEDs. The LEDs on the Dualtrons are amazing. You guys know me personally. I'm a fan of LEDs. I'm a fan of aesthetics. I like lights. I like LEDs, and the LEDs on this are just beautiful. I love it. How it lights right there, how it lights over there, how the arms light up. You know, I honestly believe I pay so much money for something. I want it to look good. Now, you guys got to keep in mind the lights aren't only for looking cool. This really helps people to see you at night on the road. Like, you can't be missed. If you don't want to wear those fucking reflectors and all that kind of shit, which would be a good idea, but I just never got a reflector. But if you turn these lights on at night, dude, no one's not gonna miss you. Like, I saw a dude on a wide wheel. He met me. He's like, "Oh shit, is that a Dualtron?" Like, he was going crazy, like, yeah, it's a Dualtron. And he had a wide wheel, and I actually wanted to get a wide wheel. You guys know what a wide wheel is by Fluid Free Rides. Um, but yeah, I was like, oh shit, that's a wide wheel. So I saw a wide wheel in person. I was like, damn, that's dope. I didn't get a chance to try it though, but he was doing a range test, and he's like, damn, dude. Point is, he said he saw me all the way down, like fucking 7, 8 blocks down the road. He saw my lights, and I'm like, damn. He's like, yeah, those things are bright. Like, no one's gonna miss you. So that's another thing about the lights. Like, when you get these scooters, you have to take everything into consideration and get something that suits your needs, not what suits someone else. Okay, evaluate the entire scooter and be like, okay, this scooter is for me. All right, not because it's a name brand, but because what can it do for me? And that's why I got my scooters. What are they good for me perfectly? So yeah, so the lights, hands down, I love the lights. Very aesthetically pleasing. Okay, another pro I'd have to say that suits my needs and um just my personal opinion and just based off of my own research, I think is good, is part availability. Okay, now this is a Dualtron. Okay, remember there were two other scooters on my. There was mainly one other scooter on my list, which was the Bronco Extreme 11, which I wanted to get that. I was even debating over that in the Storm Limited, but I'll explain why I got the Limited over that in a comprehensive video of why I got the Limited. But anyway, um, if using these scooters for a main use, you have to take part availability into consideration. Okay, now Dualtrons are widely known. Okay, in the scooter game, it's very popularly known. They have actual stores devoted to them in New York and in California, and I'm pretty sure in some other states as well. Okay. They have direct contact with Mini Motors in Korea because Mini Motors is a Korean company. But they have direct contact and they get their stuff from there. Okay. Now, I'm not saying there's a chance that they may not make the parts or they may not, at some point, you may not be able to get it. But think about it. If you want to take a chance on being able to get replacement parts, it'll be the smartest to go through Dualtron, even though they could flake and they could stop making it. But because they made so many of them, and because of this, you may be able to find it in a used market or in just some store, like or even in Vuru Motors, they have some lying around. You want to take that into consideration because new scooters are going to come out, new models. There's going to be like a new Storm that's going to be way completely built different and everything and those parts, but I paid $4,000 for this. So if you do anything like a Bronco or something like that, or a Nami or something, you know as long as they come up and as long as they flourish, and I hope they do flourish, and I really would love them to fix a lot of the issues that I don't like on a Nami Bernie, I would definitely think about getting one, but there's just too much I don't like about it. But if they flourish and come up and start, having their own stores or whatever, part availability for them, will be like more on par too. Most of you people don't rely on your scooters. I do. So I have to take that into consideration. I've only seen me and Yogi Steve. That's the only two people I've seen that really ride the shit out of our scooters and use them also to make money. That's another reason why I got this. Um, so yeah, part availability. You can call Mini Motors USA. You could call Vuru Motors. You can call fucking Mini Motors NYC. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, they're gonna have parts for Wolf Warriors and V sets and whatever it is. They're gonna have parts for these scooters. All I'm saying is, you know, the availability. I guess it's just my opinion. This is my own analysis. This is my own research. This is what I believe. It's like the stock market. Okay, you're going off of what you believe, what you are. Everybody has different beliefs. I believe that part availability will be much more available for the Dualtron. Okay, so that's one thing that I think is a pro. It'll be easy to get parts for the Dualtron. Also, another thing, which is the cousin to part availability, is reliability. Okay, can I rely on this scooter? If I need to use it, for a long period of time, every day, all day, is it reliable? And when it comes to the Dualtron, it has proven to be reliable. Okay, the controller is still going. Everything is still going, dude. Like, I ride this thing every single day, all day, like the entire day, and no problems, no issues. Of course, there are issues that I've explained or whatever, but none that stops it from riding. Things that I need to fix, things that are annoying, but none that stop me from riding. Now, don't get me wrong, there's tons of reliable scooters. There's all the other scooters may be reliable, whatever, but this is just based off my experience. You guys can go back and watch my Part Series 1, Part Series Storm Series 1, Storm Series 2, Storm Series 3. It just keeps on rolling. And you only gonna know that from experience, from somebody who's real, that owns the scooter, telling you every 3 months. I wish someone would do that with a Nami. I wish someone would do that with the Warrior. Keep you updated like I do. I'm the only person that does that. So that's one thing that assures me, okay, the Dualtron is going to be reliable, even though it can flip and something can happen. That's one of the reasons why I got my Dualtron Storm Limited. But we all know what's going on with that. But I have faith in them rectifying the problem like they did for the Storm. Okay, taking everything into consideration. Okay, now, yeah, that's pretty much what I'm going to say. Something to throw in there, just something reliable, and it's proven to be reliable. So pro. All right, so another pro I want to touch on is build quality. Okay, now I go through assessing all the scooters, and as a personal preference to me, I like this build quality. Okay, for this one specifically, that goes, compared to the Dualtron Thunder 2, the Ultra 2, comparing it to, V sets and the Woofs and all this kind of stuff. Um, the Nami. But when it comes to the Nami, build quality really isn't what I don't like about the Nami, because the Nami is built like a fucking tank. That's just all aluminum welded together. Like, that thing is sturdy. This thing is aluminum, but it's more like cut precise, nice, pretty looking aluminum. Even though the Nami is ugly as shit, it doesn't the build quality of it, the sturdiness of it, that thing looks like a damn tank. And I love that about the Nami. That's one thing I really like. But from the exposed wires and the design and everything, it just, that bothers me. I'm very nitpicky. I've spent a lot of money on something. I want what I want. But somebody else, that doesn't bother them. They're like, oh, I like the way it looks. I like it. It's personal preference. But anyway, the build of these. So, for instance, like the cartridges. Okay, these right here. All right. I've ridden a lot of scooters. I've ridden, like my Chinese T113 from way back in the day with the, how the suspension is on those, like the older ones with the side things. And, you know, after having a bad experience on stuff like that, I realized that this is very important. Your arms, whatever's connecting, the sturdiness of this, you got to be keen on these kind of things. You got to be safe, dude. These things are fast. You need something that you feel confident in. Everybody will feel confident, but I'll tell you why I feel confident in mine. Like on my T113, I wish I could have made a video on it. This was a long time ago with the those Chinese scooters that have the suspension like this and it has the shock and all that. I would not recommend those. That thing snapped on me. It broke, like the suspension broke. Okay. And that's what's holding on, holding the arm and everything on. It was like the whole arm. That thing snapped. Thankfully, I was only going like, I don't know, 15, 20 miles an hour or something, like 15 something miles an hour. And I was on the sidewalk and I was going real slow and that thing broke and I fell. And that one I had a seat too. That was my one. So I don't know how it would have been if I was standing up. And that was the time where I didn't wear helmets, none of that. I didn't wear no gear or none of that shit. And now I definitely wear gear and wear a helmet. Please wear gear and wear a helmet, dude. You got to think of it. And I say think of it as a matter of when you fall, not if you fall. Okay? Because there's a high probability, even if you're doing everything right, that you will fall. And you want to be protected, especially your head. These things are not a fucking joke, dude. They're fast. So, yeah. My thing is, with the suspension being a cartridge that's inside here and then this whole mechanism here holding like this, there's no way that that thing's gonna break because even if you say, well, maybe the pressure, but the pressure isn't all coming from here. It's all interconnected. It pushes down like this, it goes like that, and yeah. So yeah, it's really the cartridge that I really like. Even though, like I said, it's not the best suspension, I feel comfortable and reliable with it. And honestly, I would say check your scooters every, I don't know, just check your parts, examine them every month or every 2 months, make sure everything's good. I take this off, I check it, see if it's not chipped, see if everything's good, and then just put it back on. So yeah. And another thing with the build quality, oh, gotta mention this is important. And this is the reason why I get the Storm and the Storm Limited. Main reasons, not just speed. Okay. This right here, okay, this that holds this on has 4 bolts holding the entire motor on instead of just the one that's like this on the Dualtron Thunder, the Dualtron Ultra. Almost every scooter only has that one nut, the big fat nut that's like that. And the reason why I feel safer on that is because there's a chance that you may forget to tighten this or it may untighten and it could come off. There was a dude who did a video where he was riding and then he came home and he saw that his was off and he was scared to shit. He was like, "Damn, good thing I was good," or whatever. That's very scary. And that kind of happened with my what was that? My Chinese, my T113. I was riding and that thing was like off. Like I was like, "Oh shit." So after that, this is all due to experience, guys, too. It's not just one thing about a scooter. Like I've fallen, I've fell, I've scraped my fucking chest, everything, dude. So you start looking at other shit, bro. Like you gotta look at safety as well. So let me show you what it looks like inside, actually. Hold on. All right, guys. So I've taken it off so you can see. Now, this is also another form of water sealing as well. So as you can see, my bolts are really old, but I haven't changed them. These are the same damn bolts I've been using since I got it after a year and some change. But basically, as you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4. All these things are strongly held in. So in the event, maybe if I don't see how it's not gonna happen, but if one of them broke, you still got 3. 1, 2 break, you still got 1, and you're gonna feel it. You're gonna see, oh shit, I need to fix that. But with all this pressure, all these tightly screwed in and held in, it's highly unlikely. And I feel really safe like that. And it's like that for this one. It's like that for the other side. It's like that for that one, as you can see. And yeah, that's definitely one of the things I like on the build quality of the scooter. So definitely a pro. Okay, now another pro I'd have to say that's really good on this scooter would have to be the controller. Okay, 100% the controller, the controller, the controller. Why? Because On the other scooters like the Thunder 2, Ultra 2, yada yada yada, most of them have two controllers that are inside here. Now, I'm referencing this to the Storm, but think of this for the Storm Limited as well, because the Storm Limited does not have a removable battery, like an easy removable battery, but it does have everything the same. Like the controller is like that. There's no two controllers in here. Why am I saying that? Because it just makes everything so much easier. There's not a lot of wires. Okay, so let's like put it this way. Okay, the reason why I'm saying this is because we have to do at the end we have to do all our maintenance on our own, dude. And you're gonna learn a lot about the scooters. The dude today, he's messaging me, just got his Ultra 2. Shout out to that dude. And he's like, damn, dude, he got the Ultra 2. He's like, damn, this scooter sucks. I'm only getting 47 miles an hour. And I'm like, dude, that can't be. The fucking Ultra 2 is even faster than the Storm. And that's a fact. That thing gets 60. I get about 50 to 54 or whatever. I think that's because the Ultra 2 is slightly more powerful and has a slightly bigger battery. So if it has a bigger battery, it can push out more power. But I didn't get it for that. I got removable battery. I'll make a video on why I got it. As I said, preference. It wasn't just speed. So yeah, he was like, oh man, this shit is shit. And I was like, dude, I told him like check the P settings, and he put all the P settings. I told him how to put the P settings. Like, damn, 60 miles an hour. So shout out to you, man, and congratulations on your Ultra 2, man. I'm glad I can help you. But anyway, yeah, the controller on here. Okay, so what's going on with this controller is this is everything, guys. Okay, this thing is controlling this motor and this motor. That's another reason why these controllers, in my opinion, are just common sense. We're burning out or whatever. Dualtron is the only people and company who is using a controller like this. I haven't seen anybody else using a dual controller. I don't know, maybe the Wolf Kings are, I'm not sure. But at any rate, it's only one controller powering two motors. So what does that mean? That means you don't have two big, huge ass boxes in here with mountains of wires connected to each motor. Okay? So what does that mean? In the event of a failure, you don't have to go in there, go through tangling all them wire. Have you seen the inside, dude? With two controllers? Have you seen that shit? If that shit fails, you gotta go in, unhook all those each individual wires, and you gotta put all those wires back in just the way it was. What's the benefit of the Storm or the Storm Limited? All you have to do is take this piece off right here, right? Unscrew everything, take this off, okay? Obviously, you're gonna have to unhook this and take this out and all this, take this off. But what's gonna happen is when you buy this, the controller's already there and the wires are just hanging out, they're dangling. So what are you gonna do? You're just gonna take this off, lay it down here, screw it on here, the wires run through here. That's it. You take this wires, run through here, run it up there, take those wires, run it on the side here, because there's nothing here. There's only wires right here, and that's for like the lights, the LEDs, and some other kind of stuff. Most of the major wires are coming straight through here and coming through here, come up through here. You're done. That's it. Snap these on, you're done. That's it. You replace the whole thing. So, and I guess this is a preference. I mean, maybe that doesn't bother some people, and that's less weight too, because you don't have those, both of those controllers, big, big and bulky. If you look at a Thunder 2, it has that, they do controllers and all that. But I think that may be good in a certain way. I think maybe, I don't know, this is just my own guess or whatever. Those sometimes may work probably better than this by it having its own individual controller. It could probably distribute the power better, you get more speed and shit. It could be. I don't know. All I'm saying is I chose that. I chose ease of maintenance over that. A preference. Okay? So yeah, that's pretty much it with that. Why I like the controller. And that pretty much ties into my next pro, which kind of relates to that. Not really that much to say, is just ease of maintenance. These things are easy to work on. Okay, the motor is easily removable. If you need to remove the motor, tires are easy to change, which that's the same on the Thunder and all that. But mainly the motors being easy, there not being any controller I have to connect a wire to unhook the motors and all that. No, it's easy. Okay, all that stuff up there is easy to connect. So yeah, pretty much just easy maintenance too. It's one thing I think of since we have to do our own maintenance. Okay, now another pro that I really love about this scooter, and one of the main reasons I got this, is to get an extra battery. Okay, now think of it this way, guys. This is what I thought of, because you guys know I use this for my main transportation to do everything. I make money on it. I thought, I'm gonna get the Dualtron Storm, and then eventually I'm gonna get an extra battery. Okay, so think about it this way: this is a 31 amp hour battery, right? The Ultra 2 battery is bigger. That's a 35 amp hour battery. It's not that much, but it is bigger technically. So you could get more range on the Ultra 2 than you can on this. Not by a whole lot, but you can, because it is bigger. It's a 35. This is a 31. But what happens when you get two batteries like this? Okay? So this is a 31 amp hour. There's my other battery back there, just finished charging. Then that means you combine the two of that and you got a 62 amp hour battery. First of all, there is no scooter as of yet. When the technology advances, there's 50 amp hours, but there's no such scooter unless if you get into maybe big electric scooters like the fucking ugly ass grandma scooters and them weird looking scooters. I don't fuck with those. Only cool Dualtrons and Woofs and V-sets and all that. When you start getting into street scooters, it's ugly. But anyway, when you get two of these, okay, then you got 62. Range anxiety is gone. You don't have to worry about that, dude, because as soon as this one dies, you can run this all the way to 0 and you don't have to worry about being stranded. Why? Because you got another full battery with you, but you got to carry it with you. So basically what I do is when I do my deliveries, and if anybody follows Yogi Steve, I want you to personally go to him and say, I got him beat on this because I got two batteries. So when I'm doing my deliveries, I don't have to go home. I just bust the other one out, run it down, more profits, baby. Yeah, come on, Yogi, you got to get one. You got to get another extra battery like me, brother. But anyway, so yeah, basically what I do is, I guess I'll show you too in a minute here. I take both batteries with me, okay? One goes in the backpack, one is obviously inside the scooter and I'm using it. Now, when the battery gets to, I can run this all the way to 0. Technically, the cutoff point is 60 volts, but I will only go to 65 because you have to worry about voltage sag. If you hit the voltage sag, you may cut off because you're hitting the cutoff point. So just stop at 65 volts. It's going to be flashing 0. That's as low as I can get. That's it. If I go up a hill on 65 volts, it's going to cut off because it's going to drop to like fucking 36 volts. Okay? So anyway, yeah, that's my whole thing. I take two batteries with me. Now, the thing is, the battery is 20 pounds. So it's roughly around like 20 pounds. I think it's a little bit more. I'll jot it down here if I look it up, but it's somewhere around 20 pounds. So you'd be carrying that 20 pound battery with you like all the time. And if that's bothersome to you, then that's totally understandable because nobody would want to carry a fucking 27-pound battery around with them. But for me, that's not heavy, and that's not heavy at all, and I'm used to it. Now, there may be a way to, they do have connecting ports to where if you could find some way to put the other battery on the scooter and then run an external wire where it connects to the other battery so that you can use that one once this one goes out as like an external battery somewhere. If you can figure out how to hook it up and distribute the weight properly, hey, that's a way to do it. But I don't see what would be any kind of comfortable way to put a whole nother big ass one on here. So I just carry it in my bag. So yes, having a double battery is a huge pro about this scooter and what I really, really love about it. And it was just a great purchase decision. Like today, I was out the entire day and I did not have, when I was doing my deliveries, when I was out my entire day, I did not have to come home once because I drained the first battery and dude, I only used like 4 volts of the next battery. It was getting dark and I'm like, I don't like to do deliveries after dark, but I only use like 4 volts. I'm at 80. I was at like 81, probably even only 3 volts. I was like 81 volts. Like it's great. So yeah, huge, huge pro. If any of you are like that, like me, and wouldn't mind carrying it with you, dude, it's great. I love it. So yeah, that's one of my biggest pros of the Dualtron Storm. Okay, so the last pro and the last thing I want to talk about on this video that I have for the Dualtron Storm is the comfortability of doing deliveries on this scooter, okay? Because I had to take that into consideration as well, okay? Now, I didn't mention it, but that's another reason why I didn't get my Weeped SS back because remember, it was my second scooter. On a third scooter, I can get whatever the hell I want. But I think if you're a scooter head and you rely on scooters, you need a minimum of 2 scooters, in case one messes up, in case one runs out of battery, or in case this, then that, whatever. You need 2 scooters, but three is ideally what I want. So my third scooter will be my in-game scooter. When I say in-game, that means the most powerful, one of the top dogs, which is either a Weeped FS or a Ryan. Either one of those two is the big dogs, and that's in-game type shit. Ain't no bullshit. This is not in-game. Dualtron Storm Limited isn't even an in-game because it just doesn't push enough amps. It's not powerful. It's not that powerful. I even mentioned that in my Dualtron Storm Limited review. It's not, you're not gonna feel a Weeped power or a Ryan power. But anyway, the way that I can strap my bag on here is perfect. Like for the Dualtron is perfect. Okay, it would not work on a Weeped. It wouldn't. The way that the Weeped was made, no. The spring was right here. The bag would get caught in it and all that. So I was like, nah, I can't. So for Dualtrons, they just seem to lay on there really good as well. Now, remember I said I had the Bronco Extreme in mind, the Bronco Extreme 11. I think they have the 12 now. That's a long time ago, but it may be similar, whatever. The wires were these that come out like this were more lower, and the way that I put my bag on, I shifted upward so I can have a lot of foot room right here. Except when I get pizza, I have to put it down here and I have like barely any foot room. But that's only for pizza and coffee bean because the bag needs to be straight. It can't be slanted. But with any other kind of food, I can slant it. My cup holders and everything, there's no problem. Okay, it's just the gravity of it works. But yeah, the way even with my steering damper, it's still just it's great the way it positions. Like as you can see down here, for some reason on the Storms, maybe even the Ultra 2 or whatever other Dualtron, but this right here is key to why it holds so well because my rope goes under and holds on like that. So yeah, and it's just good for delivery. So yeah, doing my deliveries on this, I had to really consider that. And I think Dualtrons are the best strap-ons, because think about it. You cannot do deliveries on a Ryan, bro. Like it's too small. It's like this thing is very narrow and the thing is skinny. There's no big thing right here. Like it's the bag isn't gonna work, dude. It's a racing scooter. It's not meant for that. And it just doesn't fit well. Neither does the Weeped SS or the FS. The FS is even worse. The way I tie the bag on an FS, it just wouldn't work. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Well, before I get out of here, let me show you what it looks like. Let me give you a visual of, how I do my deliveries and what the bag looks like strapped on. All right, guys, just made me do something that I'd have to do in the morning, and it's already done now. So I don't have to worry about it. I already got the bag strapped on because I forgot I already charged this battery, and then my other one is on the fast charger back there. I got two fast chargers on that. So that one's done and this one's done. So we're just ready to pack up the battery and go. But anyway, let me show you how it's strapped on. So just like I said, you see how the rope just goes around that, and by this little thing being right here, I don't have to put it under here or, you know, try to hold it under this. No, this little thing is just so convenient. And I've been doing it for like a year and a half now, and it stays sturdy, never moves, never have a problem. And as I told you, look at the slant, okay? See how the bag is on a slant, right? And the wires that come out is just right below it, but it gives me enough room to give me all that foot room. You see that foot room? Plus I got that back there. But both of my feet, if I put them in a triangular shape, they fit perfectly, and I could kind of tuck them under there too, and it just fits great. Now, what I was telling you about the gravity, when I open this up, okay, it's at a slant, but it's fine. Look, I put my drinks, it comes with the cup holder, so you just put the drinks in the cup holder, put the food there, the food is fine. The slant isn't so bad when it's like this. I could put food in it, but when I get pizza, you know, pizza could shift and the cheese and all that. I don't want to give nobody the pizza that's like, whoa, bro, what the fuck? So all I do is I unhook the hooks, take these up, and then I lay it flat. Flat would be like right where the battery handle is, and then my foot room is like gone, but it's only for a certain amount of time, either coffee bean or that. Most deliveries are not going to need all that foot room. So once I deliver them, I just switch back to slant mode, and I'm comfortable. I have all my foot room. Now, one more thing I want to mention. You know, you guys say how I carry the battery with me. This can also be an alternative to carrying things. Oh, also I forgot, I'm getting a container. I'll do a review on it when I get it from China. It's been like fucking 3 months. I don't know when it's gonna come, but I'm getting a big container that I'm hoping will fit here, and it's a big container. Now I'll do a review on that. But anyway, now what I do with the battery. This is what I do. I take my backpack here, right? This is the backpack that I put my battery in, right? So I put my battery in, just imagine that. It's zipped up, and then when I don't have any deliveries, I just put it in there, close it up, and then I don't have to have it on my back all the time, right? I just put it in a bag, put it in there, right around. I go pick up the delivery. Once I get the delivery, I take it out, put it on my back, take it to the destination. Once I drop it off, I put it back in. Okay, that gives me time to rest my back. So I don't have it on all the time. So my back gets to rest. And then when I put it on, it's like, oh, I've rested. Plus there's downtime and everything. It's like I never had it on. So yeah. Now also, when I do some deliveries, and of course this will be sticking up. It wouldn't be like this. But I'll get like, if you get like a Jersey subs or I don't know, something that's like a Subway sandwich or something that's just like a soda and something easy, like someone just got burgers and fries with no drinks or anything, you could just like lay it right here. Put it here, something that doesn't need worried about being slanted or anything. It's in good containers. You just put it here, and then you don't have to take the battery and put it on your back for that particular run. And then you could just squeeze it down and go like this, and there goes a back trip saved. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I wanted to give you guys a good pros and cons on here, and I'm going to do the same for the Storm Limited, and I'll do a video on why I got them as well. But I wanted to get this done, and shout out to the guy who told me that Cooper said that they are going to be getting the limited motors and the new controllers and all that on a flight shipment. Because I thought he was just bullshitting, like, oh yeah, blah 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 blah. They're getting it in. I was like, well, it's gonna be on the ship anyway. And I already called them multiple times, and they said, oh yeah, the ship that was coming out isn't coming for another month and a half. So I just forget it. I'll just check every month. But when I called and talked to them, they were like, oh, we're gonna be it's taking too long, so we're just gonna go ahead and pay for the air shipping because it's expensive because of the weight, and they didn't want to do it. But I was like, I was saying that a long time ago. I was like, dude, you guys just need to, for us who bought the Dualtrons, just get us special air treatment with our motors and our and controller or whatever for us. But I understand it was expensive and they didn't want to pay for it. But the fact that they did that, this is the reason why I'm glad I got it from Mini Motors USA. So they're trying to get it to as fast as possible. Hopefully by a week or two, they'll be here. And definitely when I get the motors and everything, I'm gonna test it. I'm gonna show you how it is. Now, I'm just telling you right now, if you got a Dualtron Storm Limited that's getting 60, that's normal. Okay, that's pretty much what it's gonna do because the double tap feature, you can't keep that on all the time, the overtaking and all that. And it's just, it just doesn't pull enough power. Most of those are only going to get 60. I mean, because the uh, the Bronco Extreme 11 is pushing 100 amps, and that's getting like 60. You know what I mean? So it's typical for that. You're only gonna get that crazy ass speed from like Weepeds or Ryan. So, but anyway, just wanted to throw that in there. Hope this guy helps you out. I guess if you have you think the same as me, and you're wondering if you want to get it or what reasons you want to get it, what's the pros and cons. Now you know. So, hope you guys have a good night, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.